Yo, people, we are live. Welcome back to the THFC Show. It is Tuesday, the 16th of August. Me and Fuad, we're here. 2 games played, 4 points out of 6. Away to the scum and a point gained. But for some man on this stream, it's 2 points dropped. We've also got special guest, Matisse, the Virgin Nerd, the Gremlin Army leader. What are you saying? You good?
I don't know what I've done. I really don't. I'm on a Tottenham channel with 2 Tottenham hosts with a Tottenham live chat, and I'm the only one here. I feel like I've definitely walked into. Like, I've already got people say he's a smart guy. Listen, I don't know what's going on, what I signed up for, but yeah, we're here in it, fighting on the front line. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, listen. After your passionate speech yesterday, man, you could be writing this guy.
Passionate. Look at my arms in my veins. Look at my arms. Oh, look at
it. Hey, when I tell you, yeah, that is top 5 bits of content that's come out in 2022, bro. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I said, yes, Tobes. You know what that is? That's Tobes' Super Saiyan 4 mode right there. That's Kakarot mode. Hey, I love that. You and X, yeah, were my spirit animals this weekend. I was watching you man's video like, my brothers, this is how I feel. Come on.
Fam, and don't think that, honestly, your video with Sophie had me in tears. The bit when you were doing the...
God, do you know what it is? It was all the yays and all the babes. I was like, I've had enough of this shit. You gonna get a taste of your own medicine.
Yes, babe. Come on, babe.
Nah, bruv, that shit was too funny, I swear, man. Quality shit. Bruv, quality game as well, man. Quality game as well.
It was. That's what you call real beef, real rivalry. No artificial nonsense, no watered down nonsense. It's a real rivalry. And Matisse will admit it. I hope he would. But a lot of Chelsea fans will admit it. But they are burning, bro. They're absolutely burning that they've dropped 2 points. They're absolutely burning. So for those who are watching, I'll repeat again. Don't let any Chelsea fan lie to you and say they don't care about this. They care because the uproar. I'm seeing petitions for Anthony Taylor. I'm seeing people cussing Harry Kane. I'm seeing people cussing Conte. Conte won them a league title and they are cussing the hell out.
Shit. We don't care.
But bro, listen. It's the THFC show, and we're here to talk objectively with a splash of agendas, of course. But listen, let's start with you, man. Let's start with you. So I'm not really going to get into the whole specifics on the lineup because I feel like we sort of expected that lineup. But yeah, what was your sort of summary of the game,
bro? I'll be real with you. If we're talking summary of the game.
Yeah,
honestly, I felt like we got away with one. We got away with one big time as well. I felt like that was us basically moving inferior to Chelsea. The fuck is going on there, mate? Man's popping bubble wrap just to try and disguise. I'm about to give your team some praise, bro.
I'm just popping the champagne I was meant to pop on Sunday, but just unfortunately, you know when you just out here prematurely celebrating. Sorry, I had to keep my camera. Carry on.
He's opening his cookies, man. He's gonna have milk and cookies before he goes to bed.
Nah, for me though, that was kind of the takeaway of it, was being the party poopers essentially. And listen, you can dominate a game for 85 minutes. If you don't take your chances at the end of the day, you're always going to leave it there in the balance. And listen, Chelsea fans can blame the ref all they want. But one thing I've always said, even on this THFC show, is since we've managed to get Conte, there seems to be extra bit of, mental warfare in the last 5 or 10 minutes that we always seem to push to get these results. I remember against City last year. I remember Liverpool, Christmas time last year. Southampton, Wolves. Under Conte, we've always, no matter what, keep fighting till the last minute. And for me, when we talk about fighting to the last minute, ask Cucurella, bro. Man, them were fighting to the last minute. And Chelsea, I got to give him some dues as well, because that was probably the best performance I'd seen from a Tuchel side, football-wise, in a long time, to be honest. I don't think Chelsea had really popped ball like that. They had Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right wing back, who I thought was going to be arse. He looked decent. Cucurella looked decent on the other side as well. Koulibaly had, I thought personally, a monster class, in all honesty. And he's looking like he's going to be a big signing. But personally, I thought with our performance-wise, we fucking got away with it. But I loved that we kept pushing, stayed in the game, and that gave us the opportunity at the end to, Kane, who pretty much was ineffective. That whole front line was ineffective. But you stay in it, you give Kane one of those chances, and that's what you can do, bro. Take him.
Fair. Matisse, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Obviously, we'll talk about some of the in-game situations, tactics, etc. But what was your verdict on the game?
Should have won.
It's a robbery.
It's a fucking one. It's a robbery. Yeah, it's abracadabra. Yeah, it's a robbery, fam. I'm telling you, it's a hit.
Is your mic on, bro? I don't think your mic is on,
Oh, let me check, bro. I'm so rattled. See, even still now, you see what you're
I'm having technical difficulties.
Please, bro. And I bought so much tech, but bro, it's moving like football Series 1 right now. It's just very, very stressful for me right now. I'm telling you, I'm proper pissed because we should have beat you lot. I don't like dropping points to you lot. And it's funny because going into the game, if you told me we were going to draw, I said, you know what? That's not going to really piss me off. You guys are a good team. We've had a lot of changes. Everybody's saying this is quite balanced. We was even saying it. This has got a draw written all over it. But then when the game unfolds and we play the way we play, I'm like, wow, like we really, really should have been winning that. Now we should have took our chances, but that's the story of Chelsea. The two defenders score. We don't take the chances. But I can leave that game from my team standpoint thinking, yeah, we're serious. We're a serious team. We may not be, title challengers or anything, but we are still not a team to be mugging off some of them predictions that I'm seeing 3-1 Tottenham, a team that are, looking like they're going to fall out the top for all this nonsense, fam. This is a serious team. When they play at the level they're meant to play at, they can come up against top coaches. And I think even Tuchel, he needs to get his flowers because every time he's come up against Conte, he's tactically outclassed him. And this is a manager that people continue to undermine and say, oh, is he really even a top manager? I said, what are you talking about? When he comes up against top managers, he stands up and he goes toe to toe. So yeah, I'm proud of the boys, man. But yeah, the game, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with that result, man. Pissed.
Proud hack. Okay, cool. Fuad, I'm gonna come back to you on this one as well because Matisse, I wanted to zero in on something there. Tuchel versus Conte. Obviously, away from the beef, let's talk tactics because Matisse has mentioned that they were robbed by some decisions. You mentioned that we weren't good. So let's talk tactics. Like, in your opinion, were you slightly disappointed with our setup in the first half when you considering the fact that we had played Chelsea twice? We had played Chelsea twice last season, and both times last season we experienced similar difficulties where we were basically boxed in through the middle. We had like 4-man versus 2 every single time. Were you slightly disappointed that we allowed ourselves to be in that position again? And what did you make of Conte's reaction to that in the second half?
No, I wasn't surprised, to be honest. Before the game saw this as almost like a typical Spurs fan going to Stamford Bridge. I wasn't one of those that's part of the, hey, you know what, we can maybe nick a result here. I didn't see that. I felt like this might be the first reality check for us. But having the summer we've had and everything, I can see why Conte is maybe thinking, do you know what, this isn't the same team that played against them in January. I've probably got them a little bit more drilled into the tactics. They can probably move more fluidly within it, and they probably understand it better now. So let me see how this kind of goes. And I didn't expect maybe Chelsea to dominate as often as they did, but I thought we were well off the pace as well. I thought front three couldn't trap the ball to even allow us to come up the pitch. I thought the wing backs, where the first game they kind of gave us an outlet, in the second game they couldn't get out of their own half, Emerson and Sessegnon. So for me, as I've always said, the front three and the wing backs, that's our creativity and our outlets. They're not giving us nothing. We are going to be trapped in regardless. And Chelsea, the one thing they did is they were clinical. They picked up those spaces. And I think I give Matisse credit there with what he said, because Tuchel, I think tactically, he got his spot on, in my opinion. He read those gaps. He said, you know what? Centre-backs, you lot push in and more narrow. You lot push forward. Wing backs, you lot almost play as wingers, and he read those gaps. But for me, what you said there as well, the reaction from Conte when in the second half he said, "You know what? I need to move this around." When Bissouma, Perisic, Richarlison come on, and I see this is the kind of depth that Conte wanted in the summer, the quality coming off the bench. That's what I felt like gave the difference. That's when our pressing got a lot better. Our shape got a lot better. We started to create more chances. We looked a little bit threatening. We could get out of our own half. So for me, I give Conte credit for in the second half tweaking those tactics and making those changes, because some managers would have just lived by their gun and died by their gun. But honestly, I wasn't surprised by how we started. I kind of expected we would take this inferior mindset to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, Matisse, I'm going to come back to you on this as well, because we've spoken about this too many times. And Fuad, literally, we spoke about this last week. Remember when I was talking about the tweet and I said, like, Chelsea, you can't discount them. Like, as it stands now for me, Chelsea are still, I've said it all summer, despite all the work they need to do, they're still finishing in the top four. So I was quite confused when there was like a negative reaction for Spurs fans who were sort of like shedding a light on how difficult this fixture actually was for Spurs. And Matisse, I feel like from your perspective, I want to know, where is your head at in terms of Chelsea's sort of season? Like, does that performance give you the belief that you're going to nail on third? Do you still feel like it's something that we can get? Or what's your take on Chelsea's campaign now?
No, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed for me. Even if we had beaten you, I still would have held my former opinions, because it was a great performance, but I've seen us play well against Liverpool every time last season. You know, I've seen us play great games against Liverpool. We played great against you last season. But what happened last season still happened, is the fact that over the course of the whole season, we either fatigue or we lack quality with the players coming in for the starters. And we just never comfortably ever sustain a full campaign. And until there's some couple more changes in that attack, as we saw in that game, you know, really, again, the same story as last season at the start. Listen, he wasn't shy. He was winning duels. He was doing good link-up play, holding up the ball like a good target man should. But the finish was poor. It happens, but it needs to stop happening. It needs to stop happening. But I was nervous going into that game, and coming out of it, I'm very impressed. But for the whole season, I still need a couple players in that attack. I still need a few things sorted, a few players out, for me to really think we're going to comfortably finish in any position. You guys are still. I don't expect you guys to play like that again. Like, you guys play like that against us. I don't know if it's mentality what it is. Whenever you come to the bridge, you seem to go into your shell. But when you go and play Leeds and, you know, these other teams in the league, it's not going to be like that. So I think it's going to be a close race. I don't think there anything can happen in this transfer window to really change my mind on that, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we were bad. Like, objectively, we were bad. I think our build-up was poor. We didn't really take good care of the ball. I just felt it was just a poor day out for us. But I do actually think a lot of it is skewed towards the way Chelsea set up. Like, I think I was watching the game again yesterday. I was watching it on Spurs play, and like, tactically, we just were suffocated. Honestly, like, we couldn't play out. And when we tried to play out, and when our defenders or midfielders would find any of the attackers, as poor as they were yesterday, because they were poor, they had like 2-3 men on them. As soon as someone get the ball, bang, Reece James or Loftus-Cheek on him. As soon as Kane gets the ball, bang, Jorginho, Reece James, or Kante on him. As soon as Højbjerg or Bentancur get the ball, bang, Kante on him. So Chelsea had so many good performers on the day that did their job tactically, and it made life difficult for Spurs. But one thing I wanted to touch on, Fuad, was before we touch on the refereeing decisions, one thing I wanted to touch on, and I wanted to get your view on this, was with our team now, it seems like the issues we used to have under Nuno in terms of chance creation are completely abolished now, because I feel like no matter what game we're playing, it feels as if Spurs will at least create one or two goal scoring opportunities now. And I know people will say, oh yeah, that's not enough, but it's in a game of this magnitude, the fact that we can play as bad as we did on Sunday, and still create, I think by my estimations, like 4 clear openings, 4
Yeah.
sightings at goal.
Yeah.
Like, what do you make of that?
Against one of the best defenses as well in Europe. Let's not forget that. And for me, I'm not surprised by it, in all honesty. I think when you have clear tactics, clear instructions from a manager who has an identity and an ethos in the way he plays, it makes it easier for the players. But then the other thing as well, going back to what you said with the Nuno days, bro, this was the squad overhaul that we've been talking about. Like, let's not act like core pieces in our team haven't changed, like Kulusevski, Bentancur, even with the wing backs, the way they've come in. Like, I feel like a lot of the quality that has improved, Romero, the way he was able to shut down Havertz, I just feel like those core pieces is what allows us to stay in games, where before you were kind of solely reliant on Kane and Son, and if they don't have a good day, basically we're fucked. Now it's like you've still got other performers within the team that can help patch it over, so that way if that moment does come, those guys can step up. Now it's not just so heavily reliant on just those two turning up, and I feel like this is the benefit of having an evenly spread out team. And I'm not saying like our 11 is perfect or whatever, but the fact that we've got better quality players in and around the side and a better manager who's given clear instructions of how to play, it makes life a lot easier for you. So for me, I always think that anytime I see our team, I know we're going to create chances and we're going to score goals purely because of the front line we have, but also the way Conte's built this team. Everyone says we play 5 at the back, but you wouldn't think it with the amount of goals we score.
Yeah. Yeah, Matisse, I want to come to you on this as well, because I feel like Thomas Tuchel is mastering the act of sort of like in-game switches, and I feel like he's made your team quite adaptable to in-game situations. I feel like we saw throughout the course of the 90, you were routinely switching from 3 at the back to 4 at the back.
Yeah.
Reece James was switching from right centre back to right wing back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek switching from right wing back to right CM and stuff like that. So where, like, again, I know you said nothing changes this season, but you need to get some more bodies in. But between Chelsea and Spurs, who do you probably back your team, but I want you to be objective. Like, who do you expect to be on top of who come game 38 Premier League this season?
It sounds cliche, but it all depends on the market, because I think you guys, if you don't get that centre back, I still feel like you're an injury away from problems. And if we don't get certain things, then I know we're already an injury away from certain things as well. So I've said it so many times, but when the window closes, that's when I know. That's when I know what my firm prediction is, because right now, both of our teams in certain positions, if they get injuries, there's problems. You got good depth, Perisic in the wing back positions now. You gotta have that trust in Doherty or Royale, because Conte clearly must have. You're gonna have Spence as well. You got loads of depth. Forward line's got depth. Richarlison comes on. That's the difference. Richarlison comes on and immediately starts pressurizing us and pressing from the front, causing problems and just being a nuisance. And Bergwijn doesn't come on and do that. Lucas Moura doesn't come on and do that. They just weaken things. So that was impressive to see. Basuma comes on, but the centre backs, I don't think. I mean, listen, Conte is a great manager in terms of tactically setting them up, so that's going to enhance them. But if we're talking about their quality, for me, Davis, I think, I know he's been doing well, him and Dyer, but I still don't fully rate these guys. I think Romero's the level, do you know what I mean? But Conte is massively pushing these guys above. I think if you get one more top, if you get a top centre, you were talking about Bastoni before, we're talking about get a top centre back, that puts Tottenham on a whole new level again. And for us, it all depends on this forward line. But I do think it will probably go down to the last 2 or 3 game weeks minimum, between us. It's got to be that close. And obviously Arsenal want to move in silence, so I'm not going to bring them up. Arsenal fans want to move in silence.
We can bring them up. They want to talk about moving in silence all they want, but they are the loudest fan base in the world, so they're not moving in silence for shit. But I do agree with you that I think it's going to go down to the wire, not just for us two, but for Arsenal as well. I think all of these teams are going to closely fight it out for Champions League. But you made a couple of points which I wanted to zero in on, and I wanted to get your take on this as well, Fuad. Because when I look at Chelsea and Spurs, I look at Chelsea, and on paper, I don't think anyone can deny that Chelsea have a better team than Spurs. Like, even now, with no Fofana, with no whatever, like nobody can tell me definitively that man for man, from attack, from goalkeeper through to attack, that Chelsea do not have a better squad than Spurs. Like I look at our team now, and our attack is the only area where I can confidently say, yeah, we're stronger than you.
Yeah.
But midfield, defense, man for man, yeah, we're not as good as Chelsea in terms of personnel. But where I think we have the edge, like Matisse said, is he ran Antonio Conte. Yeah, I feel like we have a manager now who is used to punching above his weight with a squad that doesn't have to mirror the same level of quality as his competitor, which is the key driver in me sort of pushing us for third and a trophy this season. But where do you stand on this conversation? Because I know I've joked about this with you, sometimes putting Arsenal third and stuff like that, but I feel like because of the close nature and competitiveness between all three sides, people's answers are going to change, etc. So what do you think settles it for you? If you're a Spurs fan, like what do you want to see that makes you believe 100%, yeah, we're going to finish above Chelsea?
Two things. Creative midfielder and the left centre-back position being addressed. We do those two things before the window, I'm very confident in us getting top four. My honest opinion, I don't think we will. I think we faffed around with the left centre-back. We're going to kind of settle for Langley and hope that Davies kind of re-delivers the performances he did last year. And then the creative midfielder, I think we could potentially get outpriced by some of the targets that we've been going for, Zaniolo, Maddison. Now, all of a sudden, I'm hearing Malinovsky today as well. So
we'll talk on him later.
But it's like I don't know whether we're switching targets because every single one we're being priced out of, and it seems like each one seems to be getting cheaper and cheaper. So I'm thinking, listen, we probably won't end up addressing those two, which is why I personally had Spurs kind of maybe finishing outside the top four, whereas Chelsea, I think they're still going to try and finish this window out strong. They're still after Fofana desperately. I think Oba, there's another round of talks happening in the next day or two or something like that, and then De Jong is still there, kind of up in the air type of thing. I think if Chelsea can and want to complete those signings, it seems, they're for me front runners. I've said Arsenal for me at the moment, out of all of those, I think they're the ones that have got Champions League locked in at the moment. The way
really? Locked in?
Personally,
locked in, Fuad?
I think honestly,
ahead of Chelsea and Spurs now.
Honestly, people are gonna call me crazy because I'm wearing a Tottenham shirt, but I genuinely believe Arsenal have improved. Like, put it this way, I thought Arsenal. Here's the thing. Let me land. So Arsenal first last season, I thought were a solid 11, first team. They were solid set up except for the number 9. Then this summer they've gone and signed Jesus, who for me hasn't wanted to be a number 9, but now is of the mindset where, you know what, I've won enough, I've done enough, and I've improved my all-round game that I'm ready to be the 9. I reckon he's going to bang. Zinchenko, depth at left back and midfield. Vieira, depth in midfield out wide.
We don't know how he's going to play. We don't know how good he's going to be.
We don't know. But from what I've seen, all of these incomings have so far been upgrades. And then I'm seeing Saliba, who's coming as well, an upgrade in depth on centre-back. So I'm like, listen, the only thing I can see kind of slowing down Arsenal this year is the fact that they've got two games a week now, and they weren't used to that last year. So they could get caught out by that. But out of those 3 clubs at the minute, I have Arsenal the furthest ahead, Chelsea shortly behind, and us just a little bit behind Chelsea.
They're saying you're spending too much time with Robbie.
You're
spending too much time with the Don.
I've said our signing so far has been more quantity than quality. Only Bissouma and Perisic out of the 6 signings make it into the starting lineup. Unless we bring more signings to improve that first team.
But also Chelsea and Tottenham have much better
and here's the thing. By the way, I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion that we're like that. We are firmly in the mix. We have the quality. We have the best manager of the lot. That, for me, is what gives us the biggest hope. But right when I look at the teams on paper, I look at Arsenal and I'm like,
to challenge the point on Arsenal, one injury to Jesus, one injury to Partey, one injury to certain players. Again, that I've mentioned it for our team. Certain injuries to Arsenal, and it all comes crumbling down. It's as simple as that. El Neni doesn't do what Partey does, and Nketiah doesn't do what Jesus does. You take out a couple players out of that Arsenal team, when that rotation starts, when that Europa League starts, when that World Cup comes. Listen, Arsenal are a good team, but they ain't locked in. They're not locked in.
Hear this though. Hear this. Now, you were talking about injuries there, yeah? I'm going to say 2 injuries in my squad. And if they happen, I want you to picture the scenario. Harry Kane gets his injury. I know last 2 years he's been well fit, but let's say he gets an injury. And then Romero gets injured. How does that Tottenham team look to you?
Yeah, it doesn't look as strong, but it doesn't look as strong.
It looks half the strength. Creativity gone. Defensive solidity gone.
Defending, you know what? I'll say this. The Romero one is problematic, yes, for sure. But the Harry Kane,
you know his injury record.
But the Harry Kane one, I don't think is as problematic as you say. And the reason why I say that is because it is not the first, nor second, nor third, not fourth time Harry Kane gets injured for Spurs. Yeah. I get it. Albeit now he has a new role in the team. He's not just a scorer, he's a creator as well. I get that. But I think we have a manager that can make shit work with what he's got at his disposal. And where we've seen Son step up in the absence of Harry Kane, and we have the depth in Richarlison you don't like. But again, players who come on, like we saw Chelsea, without even putting in an 8 out of 10 performance, he's helped us change the game. So I'm looking at this now and I get it. Arsenal are going to be competitive. I think only a naive person or the most stubborn Spurs fan would deny that. Arsenal are going to be competitive. They're going to push Spurs close. But they could even get Champions League football. I'm not even ruling them out for Champions League football, but I can't see them as locked-in favourites, because locked-in favourites to me tells me that they're clear of Spurs. There's
tax.
There's a clear gap between them and Chelsea and us, and I don't think there is. But I don't want us to digress. So
hey, listen. Let's give Arsenal the favourite tag.
I know what you're doing. Yeah. I've just deeped it. Look at this.
Me, they're the strongest of the three. They are going to lead the pack, and I'll be very surprised and shocked if they don't get it. That's all I'm going to
say. So obviously, Matisse, before we move on to before you're going to be involved in the first aspect.
Long game.
Matisse, I want you to answer this question.
Long game.
I want you to answer this question from Phil. Big up Phil for the super chat. He says, Matisse, when are you and Havertz giving up on Air Force One?
Well, as you saw in the second series of Foot Golf, I gave up on the Air Forces and my performance drastically improved. And without that rattling at the end, with all that controversy around my name, in the last shot, trying to make me all nervous, I would have won the thing. So judge me on that with the real boots. And Kai, listen, I don't know. You tell him to take his Air Forces off. I'm going to the training session next Tuesday, actually. So hopefully I'll bump into him and me and him can have a little word. Do you know what I mean? We need to have a little conversation just about what we're trying to do this season as a.
They invited you to Cobham.
Free. Best sponsor in the world. I know they try to leave us in the dust when we was going into liquidation, but big up Free.
You are slut. Here's one from Andy Land. Big up Andy, super chat. Should Conte, in fact, before you lot onto this, guys, there's 402 of you lot in here. Please do me a favor and smash the like button as well. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Fuad's channel. And make sure you subscribe to Matisse's channel as well. It's nearly 11:35 p.m. So we're giving you all this good content in very, very late hours. Some men are not used to doing streams at this hour. Some men are used to doing other things. But we'll leave that. We'll leave that there for now, innit? But yeah.
I hate this guy.
But yeah, so Andy Land says, should Conte be sacked if no CL ball next season? I mean, I know my answer already, but
right. If there's no CL ball, forget sacked, he's walking.
Exactly. He's leaving.
No, his contract expires next summer. Bro, he ain't getting sacked, he's walking. And I don't blame him. What?
Sack himself.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, can I just talk about that dynamic for a second? Isn't it weird that if you don't get Champions League football, it's not his fault. It's everybody else's fault, and he gonna walk away. And I know, obviously, he's too good almost for Tottenham, right? In the kindest possible way, you're punching. It's like you're dating that girl that's a 10 out of 10, and you're like, oh, is she a sweet one? And she's taking half butt naked photos on Instagram story. You're like, don't worry about it, man. It's fine. And all the lads are like, bro, you need to watch her. I said, bro, she's a 10 out of 10. I ain't watching her, man. And then she cheats on you. It's like, it's not your fault. It's my fault, fam. It's my fault. That's basically what this is.
You know what with this though, like I can't lie. You lot know how much I love Conte, but there has to be some ownership on Conte if you don't get top four. Like, yeah, maybe he could, because obviously technically he's got 12 months left on his deal. Yeah, he could just run up and leave, but I genuinely believe he wants to stay at this club. and I think it's all on the manner, right? It's all on the manner. Like if we finished outside of the top 4, but we won a trophy, like that's palatable. It's not the best. We will still be disappointed, but it's much more palatable than nothing. But that being said, I think it would be a real shocker of a season if we don't get Champions League football. Like I'm genuinely expecting Antonio Conte to get us over the line. Like it may not be clear, but I think if we don't get Champions League football, something has gone terribly wrong. And at which point, even if he does renew his contract, his job may potentially be at risk anyway. I don't like. Of course, our managers get leeway. Jose got leeway. We didn't sack him until it was like mathematically impossible to get top 4. Poch got a lot of leeway as well. I'm sure the club will give Conte leeway, so I don't think he might get the chop straight away if he was to stay. But I'm not with the whole like don't give ownership to Conte. Ultimately, he's our manager, and a lot of these players that most of our fans don't like, he wanted these players. So this is what you wanted. We've given you these players. Now let's see what can be done. And just for the record, I'm expecting us to have a very positive season. But it's just my 2
I can only echo everything you said for Tuchel. It would be a disaster to finish outside the top 4. And I know people are saying that Arteta is under the most pressure. Yeah, maybe. But somebody's going to take an L here. Somebody's in trouble.
Somebody's in trouble, yeah.
It's brilliant. Like, Ten Hag's the only person that can stand there with his bald head and just chill because he there's no stress. There's no pressure. Because really, everybody else has to make it. Arteta has to make it. Tuchel has to make it. Make no mistake. The ownership have backed him. Even though we haven't signed everybody we wanted to go after, the money that we're talking about that Chelsea have been looking to spend here, and what we are anyway going to spend is a lot of money. And that's to improve the team. And we have improved the team because Sterling fits more than Lukaku. Koulibaly, arguably, is literally even maybe an upgrade on Rudiger, but it's definitely minimum same level. Cucurella is a massive upgrade on Alonso. We're improving the team. We still need to improve the team, but everybody's improved. Arsenal have improved. Tottenham, everybody's improved. So
yeah, this is it.
It's a lot of pressure, man.
It's going to be ultra competitive.
Somebody's in trouble.
I love this. Someone's going to hold corn this season.
Yes, somebody's in trouble.
You just got to pray it's not us.
Yeah, literally, we just got to pray it's not us.
Low key.
That's what this is.
And the thing is, you know it is, yeah. It's one of them ones where like everyone hates each other. So blood of my enemies is blood of my enemies. So if Arsenal get top 4 and Chelsea miss out, we can cook them.
Yeah. Say it works for everybody. Everyone works.
If we get top 4 and if we miss out and them 2 get top 4, they're gonna cook us.
Everybody gonna cook.
What I'm saying. So
what we might need is Klopp to fumble the bag the biggest.
Why were you going?
A draw at Old Trafford next week, and suddenly I know what's gonna happen on stoppage.
Bro, I like where you're driving this boat right now. Drive the boat.
London FC.
I'm watching Liverpool very close.
Like they got a lot of injuries right now. Grizz has already got the violins out. You know, Grizz, I know he's live right now. He's already got the violins out. Listen, that's up north. That's none of my business. That's not local. They're not, you know what I mean? We gotta protect the ends first. If something with the Scousers goes wrong, they gotta deal with that shit up there. So listen.
It's gonna be
so hilarious
to be jokes
from a team that is, perennially runners up or perennially competing, as they like to say, to then now drop out of the top 4. Wow. The meltdown of Liverpool fans will just be poetic to watch.
The feast.
See, because over the lot, let me not even get into my Liverpool bag because this is Tottenham. And the worst thing, everyone knows I've had I ain't had no beef with Liverpool fans. I've always watched and observed and been like, one day.
But
you know what? Before we move on to possible signings, I wanted to actually go back to Tuchel and Conte. But before we actually go back to Tuchel and Conte, I wanted to talk about the end of the game because there were some horrendous. Well, there was one horrendous decision, I must say. Like even as a Spurs fan, we got lucky with that one. And I mean, Romero, my beautiful centre back. I love him so much. He snatched Cucurella's wig off. He said, "Give me that wig, man." He snatched his wig off, and then we went on to score the winner. So Fuad, first of all, I want you to talk to me about three things. One, talk to me about Anthony Taylor's decision. Then number two, in fact, talk to me about Harry Kane, because Harry Kane has now gone, I think he's now joint fourth highest Premier League goal scorer with that goal now. So talk to me about his yet again clutch impact towards the end. And then Matisse, I want you to talk to me about the Tuchel Conte beef.
For me, bro, it's like with Romero, I don't even blame, like, poor Cucurella is all I'm gonna say, because he is the victim in all this. But you know who the real villain in all this is, and nobody's talking about it? Mr. Shai Havertz, who unnecessarily in the 87th minute decided to run up behind a mad Argentinian and shove him to the floor. What the fuck does that do? Madman chip activated. Romero said, "Cool, say no more." And you saw Havertz was shitting bricks already. He didn't want no more of that no more. He said, "Let me come in this box." And I cannot lie to you, when they said VAR reviewing this, and I see him grab a full head, twist wrist, and pull, I said, "Yeah, we're done. This is going to be a red card and free kick the other way." They said, "Corner again, please." I said, "We are absolved." That is now a fully VAR problem. That has nothing to do with Romero, nobody else's fault. So listen, you can say we got away with that, but that is VAR all over. And VAR needs a fucking review of that. I'm sorry, if you're reviewing that and you don't at least give a foul the other way, what the fuck did you just look at? So, and then Kane, I'm sorry. The guy, his records speak for himself. I've said always, this guy is 100% retiring as the all-time Premier League goal scorer, the all-time England goal scorer. He will be remembered as one of the greatest goal scorers in football history, not just Premier League history, bro. And for me, it's big games like this. This is where we've always said to Kane, we need you to step up. And over the last couple of years, sometimes we felt like he's gone missing. Even that game, he had a quiet game, and I was thinking, fuck, man, this is going to be one of those things where they try and pin him to a pillar and say, "Oh, look, Kane's gone missing again when you don't need him." And it was like, do you know what? Hold this. In the most clutch moment, in a game where you've dominated, I'm going to be the guy. And then the celebrations to go with it were just horny. I loved it. That shit, oh, man, I was solid on that.
Delicious. And you know what it is with Harry Kane now? It's a theme now, because it was almost because he let's not forget, he was garbage for the first half of last season, but there was almost too much disrespect on his name because he was playing poorly. His second goal of the season, scores against Liverpool at home. He then obviously Chelsea was poor. Like, he had one decent performance against Chelsea in that run where we got hammered 3 times. But Man City, man of the match performance, 2 goals and a hand in our third goal. I'm trying to remember the team. Then Liverpool away, brings the ball down, plays the pass to Sessegnon for the goal that Son scores. Arsenal away, bags a brace. Yeah. And then this season now, he bags the stoppage time winner against Harry Kane. People need to face facts. Harry Kane is a big game player. You can talk about the trophies, all of this stuff, but the fact of the matter is, when there is a big game, more often than not, this guy turns up. He does. He turns up. And Matisse, I wanted to, before we obviously talk to Conte,
not finals now. Let's put a caveat on that.
Yeah, I said we can talk about finals if we want, but I'm saying more often than not in the big games.
There was no need for that.
He's turned up. Right? He's played how many finals he played? He's played 3 finals in his career. He played 3 finals for England and 2 League Cups. No, 4 finals, and one of them he wasn't even fit. He wasn't even fit at all. So, like, it's crazy the amount of criticism he gets and the leeway that other players who are in teams that win trophies because they have better squads, they win, and those players, they don't do anything in the finals. They don't do jack shit in the finals, but there's no criticism. There's no criticism. But anyway, Matisse, were you slightly disappointed with your defense though? Like, to switch off like that, because it was twice. It's perfect balls. Because listen, if that was Spurs, if the shoe was in the other foot, and that was Spurs, and we've been the better side for a game, we're 2-1 up, and we can see the goal stoppage time. I know you want to praise Tuchel, and Tuchel deserves praise, but we be called bottle jobs. We be called bottle jobs.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, I personally think they're rattled. They're so rattled with the decision that they're not. You know, the decision is bang right there, and everybody's just absolutely outraged, and that's the worst time to now have to defend, because defending is all about concentration. It's all about concentration. This team know how to defend. So whenever stupidness happens back there, it's for two reasons. It's for lack of concentration, or it's for lack of concentration or individual errors. And that's what happened. You know, a lot of the goals that we conceded last year, I think we were bottom 3 for individual errors leading to goals, along with Everton and somebody else. And then in this situation, corner, you're still rattled, you're still pissed, and now you're not even defending properly, and bang, next thing you know, you get caught. So I think from Tuchel's perspective, I'm very, you know, I do, it doesn't seem like I do, but I do criticize Tuchel when he gets it wrong. Against Arsenal at home, I absolutely was fuming with the setup. Brentford at home, Brentford fuming with Loftus-Cheek playing as a 6. But when Conte goes off injured, I know that midfield is about to be imbalanced. I know. Is it Loftus-Cheek? Is Gallagher? You don't really have any other options. And then, yeah, it's just Jorginho had to come off because he's still, you know, he's tired at that point. You know, we know
he had a really good game.
He had a good game, but he also gave away the ball.
Yeah.
So again, that's silly from him. And this insistence on playing out from the back, I love it. I love the beautiful game. I'm not a hater, but sometimes you got to clear your lines, and that's when you're in your own box. And come on, just get rid of it, man. Just get rid of it. So yeah, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. But yeah, when Kante goes down, Chelsea just do not have a response in midfield. The only thing I will say with Tuchel is that you need to take a look at your existing options in the squad for balance. You know, I've said it before last season. Why not bring Trevor Chalobah on? He's played DM before. Why not look at Ethan Ampadu? He's played DM before. Instead of having these 8s as options, these Gallaghers, these Rubens who are not DMs, and then now you're defending with a pivot that isn't really defensively on the money, why don't you start looking at some of these younger guys? Maybe, I don't know, maybe he doesn't trust them or what, but yeah, they're more, in those situations, they're more of an aid to us. They're more of a help to us. So that's my only begrudgment. But yeah, it is what it is, man. They're rattled. Much like the fans, they're rattled. And that's how they've just conceded that goal.
The fans are 1000% rattled. But Fuad, I know I said I wasn't going to go back to tactics, but we have to talk about tactics. What do you want to see that's different? Let's say we bring in no signings, yeah, and we have the same team. What do you want to see different in the reverse fixture at N17? Because I'm looking at this now, and obviously when we switched to a back 4, we were able to create more chances. I think we had something like eight attempts in the second half in comparison to 2 in the first half, and I think 7 out of those 8 attempts came when we switched to the 2 with the 2 up top, and then it was like a 4-2-4 or 4-4-2. So it was obvious that we were chasing the game, but it was clear to see that our defense was left exposed. I feel like a consequence of chasing the game, there were all sorts of gaps that were starting to open up in the team, which Chelsea exploited. So in the reverse fixture at our ground, like, what would you like to see Conte do differently with the current crop of players available?
To be fair, I actually really liked that there was that tactical flexibility from Conte to say, you know what, it's not just different variations of the back 5. I will switch to 4 if I do need to go for it. And when Richarlison came in, this was kind of what I thought he might do in some games if you kind of really need to go for that goal. But in the reverse fixture, to be fair, I think the wing-backs for me, Perisic and must start, and Spence, for me, must start ahead of the other 2. And in all honesty, if there was a tactical change, if you're saying maybe we wanted to play on the front foot from the off, 4-3-3 maybe I would go for. But in my opinion, I don't think we have that maybe extra personnel to kind of add something into that final third. You can play a Bissouma, Bentancur, Højbjerg 3, but I think it would kind of be like a genuine midfield 3 rather than kind of joining the attack and linking it up properly. Yeah. So that could be an option, because I think they could be a nice little solid unit and outnumber Chelsea in that midfield as well. So 4-3-3 maybe with those 3, or stick with kind of the system that we've been playing, but swap out the wing backs for sure.
Interesting, yeah, because I'm looking at it now, because I'm like, unfortunately, I think Jed Spence could play in a 4, Romero can play in a 4. I think, listen, Dyer is obviously stronger in a 3, but you won't get as good a version of Dyer in the free as you would in the 4. But I think he showed on the Nuno that he can be decent in the 3. So I think what really kills us when we play a 4 is that left-hand side, and more specifically the partnership between Dyer and whoever it is playing left back, because Sessegnon is poor, let's be real, and Perisic is not a left back, he's a left wing back. So I think the 3 in midfield, I would like to see that. Or
I forgot that bit though, I can't lie. Perisic can't play left back, can he? Shit. I don't know why, I just assumed we were going to drag him back. I ain't trying to see Sess at left back in a 4 next to Davis, bro.
Yeah.
That is launch the ball into the right channel all day.
Lenglet.
Or Lenglet, yeah, Lenglet can play LCB. The thing is with Lenglet, it's just defensively, he's just a bit weak at times. But ball playing, I think he's good. He's just defending. I just don't rate him defensively. But yeah, I think he can do well in a 3. I would much rather see Longley in a 3 than a 2-man pairing. I'm looking at the team as well. I feel like what is a must for me is that we need bodies in the middle. Like we need bodies who can match Chelsea's numerical advantage, or match Chelsea's numbers centrally, and we need players who can actually give us a bit more thrust. I feel like Bissouma is a must start for me in this first fixture. He has to play, and I reckon maybe if you play Bissouma, I know Højbjerg scored, but if you played Bissouma, Bentancur, and maybe ask Kulusevski to tuck in a little bit like he did against Man City. That way you're not destabilizing the attack. You can have Kane and Son up top, and you can still play maybe a 3 at the back. But either way, let's talk about the beef. Let's talk about this beef. Yeah, Matisse, tell me what was going through your boy's head when he tried to come for the Don.
Listen, Tuchel is just doing what you got to do. I've seen Conte even do it when he was Chelsea manager and we played Manchester United at home against Jose Mourinho, a former Chelsea manager, and we packed them in 4-0. When you're announcing, and Tuchel's been there for a while, he's already got high regards for Chelsea fan base, Champions League, but when you're coming up against a former manager and he's managing your probably most hated club, Tottenham, right? You gotta have that shithousery. You gotta assert yourself. You have to make sure that you make it clear how much you hate him, Conte, the enemy, the rival, the former, the ex, and you have to make it very clear that you hate Tottenham too. You have to bring that passion and desire. It's what the old folks in the stadium want to see. Yeah, in the upper Matthew Harding, that's what they want to see. They want to see that. Yeah. They want to see you standing there acting all fucking diplomatic and shit. This ain't West London anymore. Yeah, this is the ends in this game. So, I mean, we've seen it before. You man love to fight when you come up here. Battle of the bridge, you're knocking our manager to the floor, looking like he's gonna end up in fucking St. George's Hospital. Man's all over the floor, wailing all over the place. Bare people punching up people, biting people, Costa. Bro, this is what we do. It's what we do. So obviously Tuchel studied. He studied the former games. And he said, listen, this is what they do around here. So we're going to have to get involved. And everybody knows Conte is not going to start slapping up people on this pitch. You could talk about the Don. He's not going to do all that because there's police right there. Yeah, so relax. What's he going to do? All he ended up doing at the end, I know as a player, he was Roy Keane in Italy. My brother, yeah, you're wearing a suit, yeah. You're wearing a suit right now. Don't act too tough, yeah? First of all, we're looking down on you, literally. And we'll pull off that wig, yeah? Like Auntie Sheila when the pot has been disturbed from. You know where it is, Toby, yeah? Don't touch the pot. Don't touch the pot. We will take that wig off. You know that meme that's circulating? You talk about Cucurella's wig. What about Conte's wig?
Romero still has Cucurella's wig dotted around his finger. Snatch that wig off. Go on, Fuad.
Hey, firstly, yeah, you talk about Tuchel's hate for Spurs and the rivalries. This man in a press conference admitted himself he grew up a Tottenham Hotspur fan. None of this shit.
Don't remember it.
He is one of us. So don't give me that. Yeah, you got one of us managing you.
There's no way Tuchel was a Tottenham fan, man. What the fuck was he doing, man?
You go and
grew up in Germany, man.
The press conference didn't even pressure him. He came out and volunteered that information like some loser. What a fucking loser. But I digress. Because you see, Conte there, I felt like, handled it how he should.
Oh my God.
Tell your coach to know his role. Yeah,
Wow.
jabroni.
Wow.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says so.
I ain't got no response for that. I ain't got no response for that whatsoever. I ain't got no response for that.
All I was gonna say, all I was gonna say is this. All I was gonna say is this. Thomas Tuchel wants to act like a bad man, but he got battered up by some kid in some random alley in Camden or some shit. The kid tried to goad him. Man tried to swing at him with an umbrella and stacked and fell face planted the floor. So next time you want to act like a hard nut,
all this tough guy talk for Conte, man. I'm sorry, it's just I know he's a passion merchant and he's really like, but my brother, listen, we're at a football stadium. Only so much can happen. So. And that Instagram photo, whatever, that little post on story, listen, that ain't giving me no girl vibes. You know what I'm saying? It's just looking like you got into a little argument with one of your little friends in a group chat on Facebook Messenger, and now suddenly you want to start sending out little innuendos on story and that. You got Tobi out here saying, Antonio! After the story, I'm like, bro, what? No managers even got. They even got. What managers got Instagram anyway?
He said, why is my man skipping leg day if he wants to speak? But listen, let's not stay on this too long. People are going mad over what Fuad said in the comments. They're saying I'm gonna get demonetized. All of this shit, flipping hell.
What? Well, people think I'm what?
Don't even let him explain himself. Don't just mute his mic. Mute.
You know what?
Mute his mic.
If we can't joke anymore, I'm sorry, man.
Don't. You know how Kevin De Bruyne's like, let me talk. Don't let him talk. Don't let him talk.
Let me talk.
Don't let him talk.
Let's move on.
Tobi was aiming for that swift hour mark, brother. Fuad try saying, "No, 50 minutes, my G. 50 minutes."
Let's move on. So, big up Obo as well. He says Italy was allies with Germany. Oh, okay. Fair.
It's going over your head.
No, I know what he meant. I know what he meant. But it's calm. Let's talk about.
Scotland. I don't care.
Let's talk about the new signings that Spurs have made. So Destiny has been confirmed this evening. Udoji, he signed, 19-year-old kid from Udinese. He obviously goes straight back on loan. Quick 1 minute recap on that, Fuad. Thoughts?
Sorry, say that again.
Quick 1 minute recap on Destiny. What's your
Destiny's Child?
Listen, to be fair, I don't know much about the kid, bruv. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've watched Udinese play. I've probably seen him play one time, and that was to watch Jaden Braff. And it was a horrible watch. So for me, I'm actually looking forward to this season, seeing how he gets on. I'm hearing, similarly like when we signed Brian Hill, he's supposed to be one of the best up-and-coming talents to come out of Italy. Technically sound, dog tendencies. He's got an engine. He's quick. So I'm like, bro, seems like he ticks all the boxes of what you need in a modern day fullback. He can play as a left wing back. He can play as a left back. So I'm curious to see. Listen, as I said in my tweets over the last couple of weeks, I'm happy to sign these projects and these prospects just as long as there's a plan to get them into the first team at some point. I don't want a Jack Clark situation again. I don't want another 3-4 year Sessegnon situation. I don't want fucking whoever the other kid was I mentioned, Brian Gill, where he could potentially be sent on loan for a second year again. And we don't know how the hell he's ever going to get into this first team because we spent 25 mil plus Lamella. So I just hope this isn't the same scenario. I imagine with Conte and Paratici, they probably singled this kid out and said, you know what? That's the one we want. So if Destiny signing and going back on loan, coming back next year means anything, it means Conte's staying. So I look forward to it.
Calm. And then the other player that we've been linked with this evening is Malinovsky. Now, Matisse, you know anything about Malinovsky?
Not too much. No, this a lot of these players. Is he Lazio, right?
Nah, he's Atalanta.
No, he's not Lazio. Atalanta, but he must have moved. Bro, there's a lot of these guys. Same with Savic as well. The box to box. Some of these guys have been linked with the Premier League move for years. Savic. Yeah, Milinkovic, bro. Some of these guys have been linked with the Premier League for so long, and I'm just like, listen, let's see what happens when you get here. But I don't know. I know that you guys need reinforcements in them areas. So I don't know if you're just going down a list. I know for us right now, we're just going down this forwards list and it's just getting worse and worse. So I don't know about the quality of the player, how good he is. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he gets here at this point.
So I think with Malinovsky, I'm looking at that now, yeah. And I one of the good things about watching Serie A is you catch your eye on, like, some players, they catch your eye, and he catches my eye for Atalanta. Like, when I've watched them play, he catches my eye because he's more often than not, every couple of games I see highlights or full game, he's scoring a ridiculous goal. Absolutely ridiculous goal. He scored 1 goal last season against Juventus, and I was doing a stream and I literally screamed during the stream. I couldn't believe the goal that this guy scored. And apparently this evening it's reported that Spurs are looking to sign this guy for the price hasn't really been revealed, but apparently Spurs potentially have an agreement, a loan with an obligation to sign Malinovsky. Now, he looks a good player to me, Fuad. He looks a good player to me. I didn't really know much about his creativity, but so many people sent me information on, like, his big chance creation metrics last season, some of the pieces of play he's done for Ukraine and for Atalanta. We obviously know he's got a crazy left foot, so he's going to be good on set pieces. But what is your verdict on Malinovsky if Spurs go ahead and sign him?
Listen, I remember when Holland played against Ukraine, was it in the Euros last year? He was one of the few standout players, even though we battered him in the end. But I thought, well, he looks all right. And since he's gone to Atlanta have almost been like the European hipster team to watch, if you like, over the last couple of years in Champions League, the way they've been overachieving since the Papu Gomez days. But he's almost seen, like, this season he was taking kind of that creative mantle from Ilicic, was it? So for me, I think, listen, if Atlanta, he was popping over there, doing something over there, can he come in to us and be a decent squad option? I think we've been missing a set piece taker for years. So that is very much welcomed. And if people are telling me he's a natural creator, which is what I want in that midfield signing, give me that. And if he's offering versatility, which I think Zaniolo, Maddison, it's all the kind of thing where someone who can play in the 10, but someone who can play out wide as well. And he seems like he ticks those boxes as well. So at the moment, he seems like he ticks boxes, but similarly with Udoji, haven't seen too much of him to say, all right, I know what this guy's all about.
Yeah, I can't, like, nail my colours to the mast when it comes to him. Like, I don't know him 100%, but from the little I've seen, he looks good. I can't even lie to you. He looks good. So I feel like the one thing to note with him is he will be coming to, again, improve the squad. Yeah, we already have a good front three, and we have Richarlison there as well, who's going to come in and compete with the front three. It seems as if Conte is dead set on getting in another option on that right-hand side who can also do a job centrally. And it was actually interesting with Malinovsky because he's a cam, like, he's an attacking midfielder who can play off the right. So I guess that sort of puts to bed the notion that Conte doesn't want an attacking midfielder, when evidently he does. And when you look at the characteristics of Malinovsky, stats-wise, this is a guy who literally scores goals and can create goals. So having someone like that in the team for the right price, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. So we'll see how that one plays out. I'm interested to see where that lands, because no one official has reported it yet. We've only heard from Tuchel Atalanta, which may as well be bobbins right now. I don't know who the hell Tuchel Atalanta are, but once we hear it from someone credible, then maybe we can put some real credence in the possibility of him actually moving to Spurs. But verdict out of 10 for you, Fuad, based off what you know, what would you give that signing out of 10 if he was to sign?
Who, Malinovsky?
Yeah.
6.5.
Look at this.
I sometimes like to just mention Richarlison around you two just to see the battle, because it's hilarious.
I'm done with the talking with Richarlison.
Listen, man,
it's so funny.
You know what? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about Richarlison anymore, because one thing I'm starting to realize is the narrative is changing. The narrative of me, where I said we overpaid for him, I have no problem with him, to now it seems like I'm the biggest number one Richarlison hater in the world. Whenever he does anything, it's like, yo, Fuad, did you see that? I'm like, guys, I don't hate him. Please stop sending me bad clips. But Listen, I think 6.5 if that signing comes in. It doesn't move me to the extent, but I'm like, all right, more of the same of what we've been getting this summer. Depth.
You know what is with him as well? Because like when I've watched him play, like I don't really see him starting games. Like, I don't think he's a regular starter for Atlanta. He seems more like a guy who comes in and out of the team. So I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to be getting like a mad run of games at Spurs. I think if he was to sign for us, I think he'd probably get like 2 games here, 3 games here. Like I don't think he's going to be doing the Kulusevski where you see him for like 5, 6, 7 games straight. Well, if he depending on his form anyway. So I feel like you said, having that weapon in our collection, that left foot, man. I'm sorry, that left foot, bruh. The left foot is disgusting. But anyway, we'll see.
We need a tech man like that, bro. We ain't had a tech man in midfield like that since Eriksen, man. We need that. My preference
would always be, Maddison. I feel like I don't like the fact that he's 29. I didn't realize Malinovsky is 29 years old, but James Maddison is not signing for Spurs, and if this is who they're going to bring, at the very least, let him be a good footballer. And on the surface, he looks a good footballer. So let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do if he does join. But listen, guys, wait.
Who is the Spurs way, and why did he say we said the same about Kulu? Keep the same energy when he balls out. We was on the ones telling you about Kulu. Don't talk to me about Kulu when all the Spurs fans were shitting on him after game 1. Me and Toes were here telling you lot, shut the fuck up, he will come good. And now you're all sucking his dick and you will get on your knees and suck ours later. Shut the fuck up. The fuck?
I don't even think you criticize Malinovsky. I don't even.
I thought you said you got up early this morning.
I'm grouchy right now, man. I'm on my last legs.
But wow, Fuad said Richie on DR, yeah. Richie, yeah.
Hey, I was hoping that we got it. I was screaming it, and then I said, "Oh shit, Toes is gonna see this." I said,
you two are fucking idiots.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, hilarious. But listen, Matisse, thank you for
realized by this stream.
Fucking hell. What did I get myself into tonight?
It's been a pleasure. This has been a mad stream for many reasons, bro. Listen, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Pleasure.
Tell the people where they can find you. They know you.
MAH on YouTube on all platforms. Yeah, what a madness. I knew when I jumped on with you two, after that kind of game, this was going to be on madness. But big up the chat, much appreciated. And yeah, it's good fun, man. Good show.
Fuad.
Hey yo, Fuad Kadani on all platforms. If I haven't been cancelled and demonetized,
you better apologize, fam. You better apologize to the German people. I apologize to the German people.
People hear certain words and they run with it and think one thing or the other. Yeah, listen, you can't take a joke. You want to be a snowflake. You can't see the funny in that. This ain't the stream for you, my brother. You're welcome to exit the stage. If you want a personal apology and you're German or anything like that, brother, go and do your history. Yeah, don't talk to me.
Boom.
That's all. Follow me on all socials though and my YouTube. Subscribe.
I tried to help him, guys. I tried my best.
Hey, in case you ain't noticed by the stream, I don't give many fucks. I'm getting paid from multiple avenues. You niggas can't stop these checks.
Damn. Cash money, boy.
Fuck out of here.
Last one, please. Last one, please. Yeah. Abbey Troops. Yeah.
I tried.
Up for the super chat. I saved this one to the end. Oh no, fuck! It was actually for me and Fuad. So, Abbey Troops, you said thoughts on Malinovsky, Toes and Fuad. I mean, we've just explained that, bro. But thank you for the super chat, bro. I did not miss your super chat. It's still here. For those who are still watching, 455 or the 460, whatever. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to smash the like button if you've not smashed it already. Please, I'm on the road to 10K. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. But of course, subscribe to Fuad's channel and subscribe to Matisse's channel. Get the Mandem's channels popping, yeah? We're giving you this content free of charge. Mano in the comments saying I'm gonna get demonetized, yeah?
Why?
Demonetized.
Why? I want someone to explain the offensive part of that joke.
Don't worry, man. Listen.
I tried.
Don't worry.
I tried.
We do this shit for £0 off our own back. So I don't care if it gets demonetized or whatever. But what you need to know is we spent our hard-earned time that could be spent doing something else, but we're here to give you this content. So please, the least you can do is smash a like on this video and subscribe to all our channels. That's all we ask for. But until then, take care, folks. Peace out and enjoy your Tuesday evening.